T minus 30 seconds. T minus 20 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Trap Talk Reptile Network, the coolest reptile network in the world, episode 592. Homie Yoshi from Modern Reptile sitting down for the first time here on New Breed on the Block. So it's going to be a heavy one, man. We got some sick-ass topics to cover tonight. But, of course, I got with me Biggie Top G, Filarino, Reptiles in the building.
What up? What up?
What's up, player?
Good afternoon here. I mean, right?
Are you happy or what? I bet you're like, damn, fuck yeah, a little bit. You get an earlier podcast thing.
I mean, yeah, it's a different, it's a change of pace. Why not, right?
Yeah, I mean, listen, if it was up for like me, algorithm wise, I would love to start earlier versus starting later. But you know, for the realistically, I've been going at 6 o'clock for a long time. But it's all good. I mean,
it's not as good, right? Because the West Coast is still at work and whatnot.
Either way, I got a plan. I got a plan up my sleeve. You know me, I'm always thinking ahead. So don't even trip. Either way, this is gonna be a great live. Let's catch up with you, bro. How you living, man? I know. I want to know what's any new events. I know we're talking a little bit about breeding. I want you to kind of touch on what you talked about, some anxiety with breeding right now, because I know you're not the only one. So why don't you touch on that real quick?
Honestly, man, this time of year, I get a little antsy, hoping that I got enough food in my girls. That they're, reacting favorably to what I'm doing, that I'm locked in now that I have so much going on.
Yeah.
Now, being full-time, honestly, man, it's a lot more important than before. It's all good. But I feel like this every year, you want that specific pairing to go this year and not next year, So little things like that. I'm feeding hard, and tomorrow hopefully we'll do some ultrasounding, see where the girls are. Just making sure everything's getting paired. Crossing the T's and dotting the I's, bro.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, man. Obviously, I'm like that with the chondros right now for sure, because you do everything you think is right, feed and pair, but if it's really up to them at the end of the day. But I know it's still early for me right now. But if we were to talk about ball pythons, holy shit, man, I've been sending you pics. I've been pairing. It's not that I'm not pairing. I'm just not thinking about it. But it seems like whenever I do pair that next morning, or not even that next morning, like that next hour, they're locking. So I'm paying attention to the time of year right now. I got to say, this is, I think, ideal time of year right now for pairing, because a lot of these girls that are getting locked are virgins, first time girls. You know what I mean? So, So we'll see what happens. Either way, man, I know I got relevant ball python projects, as do you. So I'm excited to be a part of the game. Very excited about tonight's guest. I've been following this dude for a while now, man. Definitely somebody grounded, you know what I mean, in this. Like he really has crazy passion for the reptiles, works with some cool shit. But what do you know about tonight's guest?
Yoshi's been in the reptile game, I'd say, his whole life. I've known Yoshi since the days of him working at Amir's shop. This guy knows the whole reptile game in and out, in and fucking out. And I mean that 100%. He's been all over the state of Florida pretty much. This guy knows his shit, and he's been at it, bro.
One thing I've seen that he's also on top of is like covering like crucial topics that are kind of making a lot of noise in the game. One of them being that little, I don't know what to say. I'm not trying to make fun of dude, but he's off. That Caleb guy, bro, there's something weird about the guy, his delivery and whatever. But the guy he had on, you know what I mean? A spitting image of the people checking out of the game, you would say, right? Which I want to share that clip once he's on here, not once he's on here, but at some point, But, I got to say first and foremost, what's your feeling based off what we're going to see later on with that Caleb interview and the pyramid scheme and then that guy actually speaking, which nobody really knows, right? So What do you have to say on that?
At first I was upset. And then the more I thought about it, the more I watched the podcast. That guy's getting he's making his money off of trying to teach people. There's a lot of ignorant people out there. A lot of people out there think that we're crazy for having reptiles, let alone trying to make a living off of reptiles. I had a friend call me yesterday. You know, we both ended up leaving our employer and whatnot. He's like, bro, you sell that many snakes? He still can't believe it. He cannot believe that there is a huge reptile market out there. So a guy like this guy, he doesn't know shit. So he took a nasty shots at something he knows nothing about.
And people like that, when they don't know, but they're being told, they run with it and they like to eat that shit up. And that's what made me kind of upset at first, was seeing how much this Caleb fucking guy was eating it up. But, you know, he's making it, that's his content. That's what he has to do, right? But then, you know, but then, like, you know, taking it to Theo Vaughn, which I feel like Theo Vaughn made more of a big joke out of it, and I thought it was fucking funny.
I didn't even pay attention to that guy. I paid attention just to Caleb, pretty much. I saw the interview, the original interview with the two young people, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
All right. And then, and we're also going to cover the other topic, which we're going to dive in deep in later Friday this week, you know, but, you know, the whole mice coming from China topic. I want to know what Yoshi knows about that as well. You know, because, you know, Florida, I feel like anything that's really buzzing across the industry, it really starts in Florida, first and foremost.
Yes, sir.
We're going to get down to it tonight, man. Shout out to anyone out there supporting USARC. If you don't know what USARC is, don't be ashamed. Click the third link in the description below. Click on usarc.org. Become a USARC member today, or USARC Florida. Shout out to both organizations, and shout out to Phil Goss, Vanessa, anyone out there who associates with USARC and whoever's a USARC member. Thank you so much. Tonight's episode is brought to you by, oh my God, where'd it go? There they are. My favorite European breeders across the way, Prog Morphs. Please check them out on Instagram, Prog Morphs on IG, and also go to their website, progmorphs.com. Next level cutting edge ball python projects coming from these two. Really making a lot of noise, man, especially if you're a fan of the hypo clown combos like myself, man. That's my jam. These guys are doing it right, and they're well ahead of the game. I'll tell you that right now. So go check them out. And just simply go follow them on Instagram. Let them know the trap sent you. Thank you so much, Devin and Teresa over at Prog Morphs. Also, today's episode is brought to you by the Southeast Reptile Expo. Biggest up-and-coming expo in the reptile hobby right now. It's buzzing. It's popping. Cannot wait. I'm going to be there February 14th and 15th at Bob Vu's new show, Southeast Reptile Expo. That vendor list is quite dreamy, and I gotta say, there's quite a lot of vendors I highly respect who are going to be at this show. So it's definitely going to be top tier, and don't miss it. All right, go to Southeast Reptile Expo on IG and go to the website. You can check both those links in the description below. And again, Southeast Reptile Expo happening February 14th and 15th, or 15th and 16th. God dang it. Maybe I messed that up. All right. Last but not least, shout out to Mark Bailey Reptiles, the OG, the GOAT, man. Somebody you're going to be able to catch this Friday on Dave Levison's podcast to cover the rodent discussion from China. But this guy knows rodents for sure. 40 plus years in the game. Go to Morph Market, type in Mark Bailey Reptiles. Give this guy a follow, especially if you're into the investment projects and you just want really good quality when it comes to morphs, man. And why not Big E say something about the dog Mark Bailey? What do you know about Mark Bailey, Big E?
Well, that's the OG. That's the guy I go to whenever I have a question. And, you know, some people think I'm an OG. This guy's an OG, okay? This guy has 35 plus years in the game. Colubrids, ball pythons, highest end ball pythons out there. What else can I say? I'm happy that he's my friend.
Definitely. All right, enough is enough, man. Shout out to everyone in the chats. Please get the likes up right now. If you're in the building, thank you so much. You're in for a unique new breed on the block, 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Not the usual time, but we're going to get it cracked right now. You ready to bring Yoshi on, Biggie, or what?
Let's go.
All right, guys, you know the deal, dude. Episode 592. Do what you got to do to get your mind right. Do what you got to do to stay hydrated. We have Yoshi, Modern Reptiles, tapping in with us right now. Let's go. Choo!
Good.
You ready for do more in the future? Trap Talk podcasts?
Yes.
Man,
Only Trap Talk. Exclusive.
Yes,
Exclusive. Oh,
So stop calling us.
Scrub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the crop, gotta love it or not. I'm hot from the hop to the scrub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the scrub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the scrub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the scrub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with everybody, we do it. Everybody, we do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Scrub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the scrub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the scrub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the scrub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up.
and we're live, episode 592. Yoshi of Modern Reptiles in the building. What's up, Yoshi?
Yo, how you guys doing?
Thanks for being here finally, man. Good to have you here, dude.
I'm happy to be here, man. There's a lot to talk about.
Yeah, bro. First and foremost, you've been around the block. Respect. All right. And you know, for somebody who has quite a positive name behind him from being out of state of Florida, you know, and being so young. How old are you, bro? Because you do look young, but I don't really know your age. How old are you?
I am 30, and I appreciate you saying that because I am the oldest of my friend group, and they love to roast me about it. I appreciate it, dude.
Yeah, you got some Benjamin Button shit going on, bro. Like you got, it's like, you know, you don't definitely. I mean, 30, I guess. Like, but like, you know, you definitely could pull off for way younger 20s, man. But
hell yeah.
But doing this shit for a long time, like Emilio said, huh? You've been all about this for a minute.
Yeah. So the timeline was pretty much right after high school. I was a touring musician, and in between all of that, the like Reptile and the music scene, they usually kind of like they meet at some points. So I met some people that had some reptiles, eventually ended up with some turtles, and some of those people in the music scene didn't want the reptiles anymore, just started throwing them my way. And, you know, based on like my background when I was a kid, my dad, you know, bred birds. So I was always around like animals, but I never really thought of reptiles. So once I had like a decent collection, I was like, you know what, let me try to start breeding these things. And that's how I got started.
Damn. And then when did you start? Okay, Modern Reptile, is that a pet shop or a podcast? Like, well, because I know that's your brand, but I'm curious what it is.
So originally I had a different name. Originally it was HSR Exotics, but you know, being able to stand out was difficult because so many companies were acronym exotics, acronym reptiles, something MORPH, something snakes. Yeah. So I decided to do the rebrand. I liked Modern Reptile. The problem is Modern Reptile was taken on Instagram. So I just added the shop to the end. And so that's that. But I don't have like a physical shop. A lot of people think I have a shop. I do not have a shop other than online, I guess.
Yeah, it's so fun. I don't think too many people know this. I know for sure Emilio doesn't, but when I first even thought about what would I name myself, like what would be my first brand name, it was MORPH Cartel. And then I found out that somebody like talked shit about me because I thought there were morphs in chondros, and they're like, there's no fucking morphs in chondros. Like, look at this, listen to this guy. And I like after that, I like in a sense almost hated the morph name, and I instantly killed the name Morph, and I went from Exotics Cartel from MORPH Cartel.
Got you.
Yeah, but now I'm the Trap Exotics. But anyways, was breeding ever something that you took serious? Like, was that like, or is it just mainly just fucking keeping cool shit and figuring out the best way to keep them? Like, what's more important to you even to today?
It's definitely the breeding stuff. I mean, if you've been doing this long enough and you've been able to produce animals, you know the feeling that it is to produce something, and it's like amazing. You know, especially with like the turtles. I love turtles. All right, so being able to produce little fucking turtles, it's sick, man. It's fucking awesome. So I love breeding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, I love breeding snakes, right? But
Mhm.
you know how bad I want to fully be successful at breeding a tree monitor, just because I feel like that's even closer to a dinosaur is a tree monitor.
Yeah.
Turtle, bro, for sure, close to a dinosaur. Like that,
Hell
has,
yeah.
that has to be a cool experience. Seeing a turtle hatch.
Oh, dude, it's great, especially because for the most part, the majority of my breeding career, I've worked with striped mud turtles, and that's a small species of turtle. So the babies come out like the size of a penny. They're
Okay.
super small, so it's cute. It's adorable.
So what's your thing now, man? Like as far as like what pays your bills, like how are you, because you're not really in the music game, or are you still in the music game?
So I kind of stepped back in the general audio world. A part of the income does come from breeding reptiles, but now I'm helping do some like AV stuff around here in Orlando. So like tonight, which is why we had to schedule a little bit early. Tonight I have to go to Disney to work on a project for Disney.
Tight.
Yeah.
Damn. And that's I had a couple buddies here in San Diego who had gigs like that, and they made pretty good money, but they were fucking a part of some really cool gigs that were coming to town. So that must be cool that you get to be a part of all that and see like the whole production side of things, and it's the side of things that not a lot of people get to see. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I definitely have always liked production, which is, when I started doing like the podcast that I do, it was kind of like the natural thing, because I believe back when I first started, there was yours, there was Sean Bradley's, and maybe like one other one. And I was like, well, there's like a market here for more stuff when it comes to podcasting. I have all of the equipment. I know how to use all the equipment. I might as well just, get that thing going.
Yeah, but dude, back with those days that you just mentioned. So I started this podcast 2019. Nope, there was no reptile podcast out.
Exactly.
Like, John Bradley was already off by then. Chris Eaton had his like once every 6 month thing that was really nothing really back, really like it came and it came,
Yeah.
But there was nobody really taking advantage of fucking putting out shit. And that's what I noticed. And that's when I was like, fuck. And mainly because I had cool homies. Like I had, I had Forrest back then, I had Stephen Cush, and like all these sick ass fools like who could just do all the talking for me. You know what I mean? And I'm just there just producing it.
Yeah, no, I get it, dude. I mean, yeah, podcasting is a great outlet. Anybody that wants to do it today, I always say you definitely should. There's enough room here for more podcasts. Dude, to be honest with you, I don't even listen to music anymore. I listen to podcasts. I listen to comedy podcasts, which is kind of like the reason how I found that Theo Von stuff, some Marvel stuff because I'm a fucking nerd, but
Wait, listen to Emilio loves watching shit on YouTube, but what kind of shit are you watching, Emilio?
I'm watching all
Political
types of shit. I watch history and geopolitics mainly.
You like to have anxiety, bro.
No, I like to be ahead of what's happening and stuff like that. I'm a history buff. I love listening to people on podcasts that know more than me when it comes to reptiles. That's it, bro.
Yeah. You got anything for Yoshi, Emilio? Anything popping out of your head?
What's up with the blue tongue skinks, bro?
Dude, they're doing great. So I know that you guys had Ron and Heather on not so long ago. They're not far from me, and they inspired me and a couple other people here in Florida to start keeping the blue tongues outdoor, taking them out of the racks, giving them natural climate. And so last year I did a little bit of it, and I didn't even care so much about like my production more than it was how I saw the animals behave and change in just a couple months that they had been outside. So this year I said, you know what, dude, it's time to throw everything outside. It's time to really put efforts and try to progress what it is like blue tongue keeping and a lot of my projects. And even though like I do want to have the goal of breeding professionally, breeding for a living, I have to understand that the animals have to come first. And I don't believe that racks are the way to keep these animals, especially after I've kept them the way that I've been keeping them. So even if my production numbers are lower, which to be honest, I don't think they will be, even through the bad years, as long as I get to see the animals happy, exhibiting natural behaviors and doing well, dude, it's the way to go.
Yeah. And if anyone out there is like wanting answers, like my real answer why I had to get rid of my lace monitors is because I couldn't keep them outside. And that was my thing. Like I was like, all right, I got to give, like I had such a cool plan for what I want to do for an outdoor enclosure, but it just didn't work out with the new house that I bought. And my wife doesn't want monitor enclosures in the backyard. So, you know, it's something I had to like, you know, the whole like wife, you know, happy wife, happy life. Like I had to take one for the team right there. It is what it is. You know what I mean? But I got to tell you, man, the reason why is because I feel like, and this is nothing against anyone who keeps monitors indoors, because I know plenty of close friends of mine who do great jobs, you know, maintaining husbandry for a monitor indoor, but you see a switch in them, man. Like you just see like a nourishment switch. Like it's crazy. But it's something that you feel like they deserve. Like it's kind of like, imagine a dog that never got to go outside and get a walk, or like go fucking play fetch outside.
Yeah.
You know, like you do that to a dog, what happens to that dog? Especially like a German Shepherd or something, like the dog goes crazy. And so I feel like just because we don't see it in a monitor, they don't go crazy. But dude, that has to be mentally fucking straining, bro. Like if they can't get that, like just that fresh breath or a bit fresh air. I don't know. I could be overthinking it, but it was enough for me where I'm like, if I can't do these for these lace monitors, I don't want to keep them. That's fucked up.
I don't think you're far off, man. I really don't think you're far off.
Yeah. So, but like overall, you're in the ball python game, right? You do have some. Okay. So what got you into the ball python game?
So it was around the time where people were just kind of like throwing their, you know, the unwanted pets at me. And, you know, I had already, you know, a couple years of breeding turtles. I was like, let me try to breed some of these ball pythons. And so I had 12. I produced 12 females, that is. I produced 8 clutches. I ended up liking it. I realized maybe I can duplicate it, you know? And yeah, no, I mean, the thing with ball pythons is, you know, what everybody says. It's, you have such variety of colors, patterns, and you could do this, do that. And it kind of seemed like there was so much to do, you know? So I kind of went balls deep, for lack of a better term, into them, you know, but I feel like I definitely have made all the mistakes. You know, I did the, you know, Emilio saw me when I worked for Amir, and I was primarily doing BSR auctions. That was kind of my thing. I was a manager for BSR auctions. So being in the auctions, you know, I was able to get animals at a fair price, or, you know, lower than what they would go for normally. And so I was like, well, I need that gene and I need that gene. And then eventually I had way too many animals. You know, I made the generic mistake, you know. Yeah. And then you slim down and you rebuild, and then you're like, okay, now I want this. And then you realize maybe this wasn't the direction, the market changes. And so, I mean, even though ball pythons have been like this for me, I really do love ball pythons. You know, they make great pets. They're good for the side of investment when it comes to trying to do this professionally. Yeah, ball pythons.
Yeah, but you said it, man. You love them. So I feel like no matter what happens with the market, when you love them, stay steady, man. Like you're still enjoying what you're keeping. But you got to know when you got to either tone shit down, or find homes for stuff you don't love, but at the end of the day, dude, I know some people who keep retired females in their rack, and they don't want to get rid of it because they love it that much. God bless. If that's you, cool, dude, that's fine. But we're talking for the majority of people who haven't been doing this for too long. You know what I mean? And like you said, bro, if you feel like you got a hookup, because you always feel like when you're in the midst of buying shit, bro, and it's cheap, you feel like you're the luckiest guy on earth right now. So
yeah,
you're like,
for sure.
You're like, let me get that, and then next thing you know, you have all this shit, and you're like, fuck, you know, like.
Yeah, no, I mean, it happened to me again. The latter half of 2023 to early 2024, where I finally got my collection to a point where I was like, okay, I'm kind of like really happy with the direction of it. The animals that I had enough to supply a reptile shop that I was associated with, and then my own projects. And then all of a sudden, I no longer became associated with that reptile shop. And then I looked again at my collection, and I'm like, I just should have been doing this for me and not thinking of how I could benefit other people at the same time. You know, because now I have animals that it's like I have to find new rodent suppliers, I have to find this, I have to find that, you know. So I'm still to this day to a point where I want to slim down to a point where I could find that happy medium of like producing enough to sustain and to make a little bit of profit, and you know, but not to keep my numbers too high where it's just too much because I'm not as involved in certain things.
Yo,
let me ask. Okay, what, Emilio?
What's that project that just makes you go?
Wait,
crazy?
hold on. Before we get to that project talk, hold on. I gotta ask you guys if this rumor is true. If you're hearing anything floating around the south bend of breeders in this country, that there's been a lot of people who got into breeding rodents who like aren't really prepared for the seasonal change, and that there's going to be a wide spread of like rodent shortages happening within this this year coming up. Have you guys heard about? And the only reason why I'm even asking this because I've been hit up by 4 different people: North Carolina, Tennessee, 2 from North Carolina, 1 in Tennessee, and then 1 in Georgia, asking me if I know a plug down in that area because their guy can't supply them out of nowhere. And I'm like, holy shit! And but what have you guys heard about any of that? Anything or no?
I think that as far as my end goes, I feel like every year there's been an issue with rodents. Right. Every year whenever it gets too cold, there's an issue with rodents. Whenever it gets too hot, there's an issue with rodents. I have a different rat person now, and I haven't had any issues like that yet, but we're about to get through the cold, back into the heat, and we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, that's why I set up at the end of the day. Every single year there was issues. I could not risk, especially being full-time, I could not risk not having my rodents, not being able to feed my babies, not being able to, pump the business at the end of the day. So now I produce plenty of mice. I got a little bit of ASFs, but I'm recession proof. No matter what, I can feed my collection and I make money off the mice too. So
I am the opposite. I am recession fucked.
Recession.
I've heard that Orlando's kind of rough. It's up and down.
Yeah.
I mean, down here as well. Throughout the years, what's happened. People have trucked rodents down. I mean, it's crazy. But yeah, nationwide, we're seeing that as well. So it's a really big problem.
So where are you getting your rodents, Yoshi?
So I'm not gonna lie, I don't know the name of the guy, but I piggyback off of my buddy's orders. So the guy that he's getting them from, I just get them from there.
I'm not gonna lie, that's even scarier.
You think so? I mean, it's. I know that he supports like another couple. I know he supports like another couple like breeders and different stuff. So I'm not like too worried because I know that those breeders are very prominent and they always have like a steady rodent supply. So I'm like, all right, I kind of have faith in it. But then again,
Yoshi,
I'm getting live. Yep. Yeah. So
I'd say.
Yeah. I mean, in the end of the day, I'm still trying to bring those numbers down, and this is another reason why. I don't want to get to a point where I have issues with finding rodent supply.
What's your total snake count right now? Like, or overall reptiles altogether? How many you got?
Oh, overall reptiles? That's hard to count because of turtles. Because turtles, you put them in a pond and they kind of do their thing. But
without counting the turtles, what would you say you have? Like in that room, at least.
In this room, I probably have left anywhere between 50 to 75 breeder ball pythons. In blue tongues, I must be anywhere between 30 to 40. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I asked Mike once how many turtles he has, and he just fucking laughed at me.
Bro, and that's a whole different operation. That's insane.
Like, are you fucking serious right now?
Yeah. I dream to do what they do. I would love to do that just with turtles. Just turtles all day. Yeah.
All right, so let's get to Emilio. What he was asking as far as your big foundation project.
You listen. I like to ask this of people that have been in the game a long time, right? Because I believe the noobs are somewhat conditioned to like certain things. Dude, what drives you crazy in the ball python market right now, and what overall with your collection, your goals, and also what do you see coming that you're like, holy shit?
Okay, so the thing that drives me crazy right now in ball pythons, I love the puzzle combinations, but the thing that drives me upset is seeing what's going on with like tri-stripe and the fact that like I don't really see that people are super into it. I think it's amazing. The price is kind of like this, and I'm like, do I invest in something like that? Do I not? Like, I don't know. Like, I'm at a point now because of the market that I'm afraid to spend money in ball pythons because I'm afraid of missing out on my investment, which is to my own detriment. As far as with my collection, there is there is a name that dude, my friends make fun of me for this shit all the time. So I want to make what I call a banana split ball python. Okay, so that has to do with like me and my dad. That I'm very close with my dad, and you know we would always share banana splits. And I'm like, okay, so my idea of a banana split, it's a clown combo. It has banana, okay, and then it's GHI fire vanilla. So it's a GHI vanilla cream banana clown. So that's like my project that I want to work on. I mean, it's not even so much about how it looks more than I'm like, I want to do it for the name.
I'm pretty sure that's been done.
I am upset that you said that. I'm so upset. If it's been done, please send me photos and name it after my father and my relationship with banana splits.
People dropped the whole vanilla stuff for the most part, I'd say. So I think it has to be brought back. You know?
I mean, I agree with you. I think
vanilla chocolate banana clown. There you go.
You see stuff like that, you know, but it's like vanilla creams, so vanilla fire. I mean, that combination is beautiful. That is a gorgeous animal. You know, I think that
somebody said G-stripe banana is a banana split.
I honestly don't care. I don't care. My banana split is gonna be something else.
You should call it a modern banana split. That'd be sick.
I've never heard
there you go.
I've never heard that name for a banana G-stripe.
Yeah, I've always seen them as banana genetic stripes. I've never seen them as banana splits. Super chocolate, super vanilla banana. You see, but this is the thing. So Royal Canadian Reptile says super chocolate, super vanilla banana. But the problem is that for it to be in the game, it needs a recessive or like 48 recessives or something. So
yeah, but Will, what I love about Will is that Will kind of, he'll tell you, what his comeback to that would be, and he's going to love that I remember, is that we need to kind of get back to, at the same time, not worried about stacking all these recessives all the time.
I definitely agree with you. I 100% agree with the sentiment. The problem is that, which is, again, one of the things that we're going to talk about is there's money to be found in this, and the money kind of stays at a certain point with recessives because technically they're harder to make. Well,
hold on. No, I got to say recessives with the right incomplete dominance, because nowadays you could have triple recessives. I don't want to say triple, that's a little extreme, or even triples, I guess. I mean, if you don't have an incomplete dominant to separate yourself from the bunch that are all making double, triple rules, your value is stuck where it's at. But that's what I'm going to say right now, bro. Stacking is an art. Like you could get away with stacking if you're stacking the right shit. The thing is, you have to stack. Like, as much as like Emilio will say, and he's right on this, that there's certain things you work with that you don't want to stack. Like pied, good luck if you want to. It's doable. That's a hard feat to stack a bunch of shit into pied, right? But if you have the right shit, bro, stacking's on your side, because stacking is going to keep you away from all the other fucking lazy bums who aren't even thinking ahead and who just want to make the next cool thing,
Yeah, so I have a buddy of mine. His name is David from Mad Ball Pythons. He was kind of like my mentor with ball pythons, and he's done a lot of stuff with blackhead, and but once a month he'll call me and he'll be like, bro, like I can't compete in this market because everything's recessive, and like I just really like stacking my codoms, my like stuff like that he likes to do, and then throwing it a little bit, and I tell him, I'm like, dude, like, have those projects because those are your thing. You've been doing that forever. Just keep promoting that one thing. And if you're worried about like making a little bit of the money, or whatever, just do some of the recessive stuff that might be, relevant, or even on the pet grade stuff, because pieds, I mean, everybody like would love a pet pied, people that want ball pythons as pets today.
Pieds, people come to your table for the pieds. That's why it's important. But go back to what you're saying, right? You're saying like, unless it don't have a recessive, it ain't really worth aiming for. And you're so right. That guy who has a bunch of sick ass blackhead shit, like let's say he had super blackhead here, there, and it's all stacked in incomplete dominance. Well, guess what? You're selling nothing but pets, unfortunately, because if you don't have some sort of recessive with those, and that's the thing, you're almost shooting yourself in the foot by not working recessive in a blackhead strong fucking project collection.
What I would tell you about Dave, and we're gonna have him on this year.
Let's go.
Is that we all do the shoulda, woulda, coulda.
Wait, who?
Yeah.
What name did you say?
Dave Gutierrez, Mad Ball Pythons.
Oh, cool. I didn't know.
He's my boy too. He's great.
Thanks for telling me. I'm just kidding.
No, I mean, later in the year.
I know. I'm just kidding. Never heard. I never heard of the guy.
He's not ready right now. That guy, he's great. He used to work for Breeder Circle. Another guy like Yoshi that has been in the game forever and knows it like the back of his hand.
Okay.
Shoulda, woulda, coulda to anyone out there. We all should be doing certain things better, and we have to constantly analyze and check our plans every single year. I used to be that guy that used to have plans spread out 5-6 years. I can't do that anymore. We're going too fast. So yeah. We need to adjust. I mean, every 6 months to a year.
Yeah. No, I agree. MJ, by any chance, can you pull up a dark matter ball python? That's something that David did. And like, this is stuff that he works on that I'm like, dude, like, just keep doing shit like this because this shit is nice, you know? And, I don't think anybody else has made it. He ended up selling the animal. I was like, bro.
Chris Hernan bought his dark matter stuff from Dave.
Yeah.
Oh, this is interesting. Hopefully this is it. But what's dark matter? Like what's is this it?
No. So, man, it literally
isn't it black matter?
Is it black matter?
I think so, yeah. Black matter is a blackhead gray matter, correct?
Yeah. Yep.
Is this? Oh,
that's the one.
What the fuck this thing is? Oh, I've seen this thing.
Yeah.
That name. Okay, now it all connects. Damn, dude, this thing is sick. Wait, okay, but is this something that could potentially produce a bunch of issues? The tray has a wobble condition. Oh man.
Yeah, so that's where we start getting into the issue, But
damn, that thing's sick though, bro. Holy shit.
Yeah, but I mean, this is some of the stuff that he works on, like black and stuff. I mean, he's produced some really nice stuff, and I think he's underrepresented in that kind of stuff.
All right, so just to clarify, this is a where the fuck the gene's at? I want to make sure I get this right. What is this shit?
It should be blackhead. What is it? Blackhead super cinnamon champagne.
Oh, here we go. It's super cinnamon blackhead champagne.
There you go.
Or super black pastel.
Yeah. Or super black pastel.
Yeah.
Damn. Okay. Now listen. All right, go ahead.
So these, it looks like they do better than pandas. So
yeah.
I mean, but I don't know, guys. Let me ask you: if we have a project that could produce some fucking next level shit like that, but then on the way of making stuff like that, you could have some issues. Is it still worth pursuing the project and just weeding out the weak ones and only really handing over the strong ones that are making it? Like, what's your guys' take on that?
I think that there's ways to go about it to minimize it. I think that, if you find the gene that is the issue and you keep that as that's the only, like, that might be the one animal that you have that has it, I think in this sense, what is the gene? Oh, I get super cinnamon, right? Super cinnamon, because you'll get bug eyes, sometimes duck billing, so
and then you get also the champagne wobble. Champagne has a slight wobble, not as intense as spider, but sometimes you do get a little wobbling.
Yeah, so I mean, when it comes to the ethics of it, that's definitely a good topic because maybe that's just not the way to go. We probably shouldn't be producing animals that cause these kinds of issues.
But I will swing back and say, people are trying to sell fucking Powerballs now. Powerballs are fucking worse than spiders. Okay.
Really?
So
what's a Powerball, Emilio?
Put to bed.
Super spot nose.
Were put to bed years ago, and now we're making them because there's so much spot nose out there.
Yeah.
So,
damn,
can't have it both ways.
Yeah.
Didn't know that.
True.
That's wild. Yep. What are people bored? Why are they doing that? Why would people be making? Why are they bringing back something that just knows that's not good to make?
I think it's because so many people just have spot nose in all of their clown stuff.
Yeah, it's a byproduct. So
yeah.
Now they're trying to elevate it, basically.
Yeah, that's just that's what we do.
Yeah.
All right. Now listen, before we kind of pull up the clip of the pyramid scheme on this ball python talk, like where do you feel like people go wrong, Yoshi? Like okay, first and foremost, the people who are in the comment section, like kind of rallying behind this. I feel like most of them don't even own a ball python first and foremost, but I do see some people that do own ball pythons that kind of say, hey, I was a part of this scheme. So where do you guys feel like people fit in this whole topic where they're victimized? Like they're like, yeah, I was pitched this fucking pipe dream, and I'm one of those victims. Like, where do you think this is coming from?
It's hard, man, because it's like we can't all be victims in this because we have to be responsible for our actions. You know, nobody forced anybody to spend money on a certain thing.
Facts.
You know, but obviously, if you feel like you got, there's an emotional response, which was a lot of the pushback from the post. And for me, the post wasn't about taking a stance. It was just, dude, I was literally listening to a podcast, making dinner, and I was like, okay, I need to clip this and repost it because this is a topic. It's a good topic. And mind you, you know, a lot of people were clinging on to the fact that technically in a pyramid scheme, you know, the people at the top get percentages of everybody in the bottom, and that compounds to their, you know, their profit, their salary, you know, and in ball pythons, there's not really that. But that doesn't mean that there aren't some similarities here along with that difference, you know? I think that people can see a certain lifestyle and they want that. You know, I think that the same way that, you know, a lot of people watch The Real Housewives, they watch all the things on Bravo, and they're like, damn, I want that lifestyle. I want that. What can I do to get that? And then they make financially irresponsible decisions because they see something, they go buy it, and then they're like, well, now I'm broke. You know, so there's a lot of all these kinds of things.
I want to state for the record, my wife watches Real Housewives because it reminds her. It reminds me how her life isn't so bad.
Buddy, spoiler alert! I watch The Real Housewives,
and I'm only saying that because I watch it too. You don't
bro.
Sometimes, all right,
dude. What day is today? Today's Monday. Thursday, I'm watching The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, dude. That's my thing. I'm sorry. That's what me and my wife do for dinner, and that's our thing.
I've never watched that shit. I don't know. I can't even give an opinion, bro. I don't know.
That's good. Stay out of that. No, okay, but listen, you know, and then this, you know, shout out to Matt Ball Pythons for his comment here, but I gotta call it out because he's saying we're all victims in this because we have to keep up with the dream. But what's your dream? That's the thing, right? Like, don't we all have? I mean, here's the thing: we should all have the same vision in this, is we want to keep what we love, but that's obviously not the case for majority of the people who came in after COVID or during COVID, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, what is your dream? Like, what is your dream? Is your dream to be Justin Kabelka and have a car full of fucking supercar or a garage full of supercars? You know what I mean? Like, what are you trying to do? Like, what's your goal here?
Yeah, no, I mean, that's the thing. But the problem is that along the way, people can be making some of these poor financial decisions, you know, unfortunately, you know, and sometimes that causes people to create shortcuts within these animals. And now people are having issues selling these animals. So it's a potential that the care of the animals are, you know, coming down. And then all of a sudden you don't want to feed the animal as much because I can't house it. I can't put it into the next size tub. I can't do this. I can't keep affording this, you know, and it's in my opinion, some of it's starting to become to the animal's detriment. You know, and that's where like the conversation really is.
I'm going to say this. I'm living the fucking dream, and I'm not chasing multi-million dollars, anything like that. I think that's the problem with most of the people that get in. They want to chase millions of dollars. I'm chasing a lifestyle and being happy. You know, I look at a guy like you. I look at MJ. Bro, you guys are living the dream as well. Bro, you're in essence a reptile farmer, bro, and you are so fucking happy. And you're going to get there to where the money's there as well. That's what the reptile industry is.
Yeah.
Not chasing having a Ferrari outside or, you know.
Hey, Farmer Yoshi's a wild name, by the way.
Hell yeah.
I mean, hey, we're farmers, bro, at the end of the day.
For sure. But, you know, okay, Farmer Big E, that's cool. Farmer MJ, that's all right. But Farmer Yoshi, that's a sick-ass name.
Hell yeah. I'm going to change my handle right now. No, I'm just kidding.
I imagine like a koi fish breeder with that name or some shit.
Yeah.
Just pretty hard. What were you saying, Emilio? I'm sorry.
I lost it, but
sorry, people.
Happens.
I lost it, bro. I lost it.
So so, do you feel at all though, Yoshi, that like you got caught up in some of this pipe dream type activity, like that maybe you even kind of fell for it? Like, can you own up to that? And
yeah, for sure, dude. Yeah, 100%. And that's something about me is I'm always super fucking transparent about this kind of shit, because if people don't have transparency, if people can't have conversations, there's no room to progress. We have to be honest about a lot of these things, and for me, COVID, that time was awesome. It was the time that I produced the most ball pythons, the time that I produced the most turtles, the times that I produced the most skinks. It was amazing. It's the reason I was able to buy a house, So, and then I wanted to replicate that, and the way that to replicate that is you get more animals and you're like, well, I have to do this. I have to do that. I have to follow this roadmap that somebody already created instead of finding my own way, and when it, just to backtrack a little bit, when it came down to my music career, I never did that. I only did things my way, and so it was unlike my character to follow somebody else's roadmap. So after some of the like harder things that were going on with me were happening, I sat back and I realized, I was like, hey man, you've been following somebody else's dream instead of like doing what it is that you exactly wanted to do. And now I am only on the road to do the things the way that I want to do them.
That's wild, bro. I never even, because I was a DJ for over 10 years and I legit mentally thought I was going to be like the next Tiesto at one point, but only because I was like the people I was hanging around, and I really kind of like put my head in the fucking gutters with this vision, right? And the whole time, mind you, while I'm thinking this, my life is just fucking shit. Like I'm a drug dealer. I'm just not fucking doing things right. But the whole time I'm thinking like I'm on my way type of shit, but I was only doing things the way I wanted to do them, weren't connecting with people, weren't taking advice, bro. Like just weren't seeing things the way I saw things when I got into the reptile game. And it's crazy you mentioned that, because now I feel like that's kind of where I think you and I connect a lot. Like we come from a stubborn background where, if we feel like we're good enough for something, we don't like, who the fuck are you to tell me what I should do or what I shouldn't do? Like, but in this case, bro, like that's why I love the reptiles, because no one's really the expert. Like the reptile's the expert. Like you talk to somebody like Marshall Mendez or even Ron St. Pierre, bro, they're still telling you, I don't fucking know. Like we're like, you know what I mean? I don't know. Like we're just here.
Sometimes, sorry, Emilio, you can go.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say that sometimes even with like Ron or Heather, like I'll talk to them and I'll like try to like, get some of the advice from them, replicate it. And then when I go to have a conversation with them and I was like, oh, I did it the way that you did it. And they'll tell me like, no. Like you still got to figure out how it works for you. Like it might work for me this exact way. And you can kind of like tweak with some of this stuff, but don't just, take it and run with it, or rather take it and do something different, try to make sure that it benefits your situation, because even though we might be less than an hour apart, there's different variables here and there,
But what's crazy, go ahead, Emilio, I'm sorry.
These people that watched Caleb's show, and much like him, they have no idea the passion, the happiness, the exhilaration that we get from producing beyond monetary value, a combo, a designer chondro, an amazing blue tongue skink after doing all the work. Yeah. These people have no fucking idea. All they see is the money.
All right, well, listen, enough is enough. I want to get to the video clip, okay? So before we drop the clip and break this down, we're going to go to commercial break. So guys, hang tight. We'll be right back. I appreciate you. Sorry for the interruption, folks, but a quick word from our sponsors. Longevity is one of the biggest things I strive for when it comes to thinking about being a part of the reptile industry. That's why I'm very proud about today's sponsor, Mark Bailey over at Mark Bailey Reptiles. 40 plus years, full-time reptile keeper, enthusiast. This guy, you can catch all his amazing ball python projects on MORPH Market. So make sure you head over to MORPH Market, and that's Mark Bailey Reptiles on MORPH Market. See what he has available currently. And I got to tell you one thing, he's one of the biggest and most respected ball python breeders we have today in the ball python game. So shout out to Mark Bailey over at Mark Bailey Reptiles. Thank you for all the support. And again, make sure you head over to his account on MORPH Market, see what he has available. Thank you so much, Mark Bailey over at Mark Bailey Reptiles. If you're in the ball python game, then you know one of the biggest buzzes going around the hobby as far as reptile shows go is the new Southeast Reptile Expo being thrown by Bob Vu and his crew. Thank you so much, Bob, for being a part of this year's sponsor on the Trap Talk Reptile Network. Very excited to collaborate with you. I'm excited to actually be heading over to Southeast Reptile Expo in February, and that's February 15th and 16th. You can catch me there. Now head over to Southeast Reptile Expo on Instagram and check out Atlanta's #1 reptile show, the newest up-and-coming, most exciting show around in the reptile hobby, and who else better to throw it than Bob Voos. All right, so let's break this shit down. I have it fucking queued up. And I'm going to take it to where he kind of like, you know, acts very dramatic over the whole scene. So why don't we take it from here?
I purchased ball pythons in the intention of breeding.
The f are you even on? What drugs do you take?
Dude,
Who even thinks about this? What rabbit hole do you have to fall down to get that one?
So I had a buddy of mine, well, still friend. We're still friends. He's very invested into the ball python industry. He's got a decent.
Who the f is buying ball pythons?
He is.
Him.
And me now. Yes.
Him.
So really, it's like a ball python pyramid scheme. You get breeded pythons so that you convince other fucking ball python potential breeders to make more money. You just sell them. You breed and sell to them so that they can breed and sell to other people. It's a fucking ball python pyramid.
Yeah.
All right. So far, like, you know, on the outsider looking in, I feel like everybody thinks this, right? You would say, is this pretty accurate? Like, not knowing anything about breeding and just on the outsider looking in, how accurate is he so far? You guys would say.
I would say, I mean, this is the thing that this is the difficult thing is we have to understand that this is how the mainstream sees this.
Right.
They're not going to understand this. As much as like we want to hope or we understand the way it is that we do certain things, they don't get it. So this is honestly like I would say a typical response for somebody that has no backing into this.
What do you have to say, Emilio?
They have no idea that there's a real reptile market out there. Like between me, let me ask you this, Yoshi.
Yep.
Did you have any idea the scope of reptiles that sold every year when you first got into this game? Even a lot of reptile people have no idea.
No, yeah, definitely not. There's a big industry in this, you know.
So imagine a layman's, because this guy's a fucking layman's in our game. He doesn't know shit.
And honestly, even the guy who this fucking idiot right here with the glasses for being supposedly a ball python breeder and not being able to defend any of this shit. Like, this guy kept quiet like a fucking dipshit, because guess what? He doesn't know what to say. He's clueless, bro. Like, he's not in this for the right reason.
I'll tell you what, I want to know who his friend was.
Yes, me too.
Yeah, I'm not even so worried about this guy, because clearly he's not where he needs to be for this kind of thing. I want to know who his friend was, because that's the guy that sold him the dream. That's the guy that sold him the pyramid.
His friend fucking banged him.
Hold on, though. Like, how many people out there who've had friends try to come in that were just fucking not good at taking advice or not like retaining information? How do we not know that this guy was actually told shit and he's just not a fucking idiot? Because if you spent anywhere near the amount of money that he spent, $7,000, and you can't defend any of this shit that this fucking moron Caleb is talking all this shit about, like, how are you not able to rebuttal any of this stuff, which was driving a lot of people like us crazy, because we know the truth. We know, like, okay, let's move forward.
Call me one time, right? And he was like, he was like, look, I have this business, whatever. I was like, don't do it. He did it. He didn't give a fuck about what I said. This is our marriage, and you didn't give a fuck about what I said.
Yeah, listen to your sassy Mexican
situation because you spend a lot of money on snakes.
Woo.
Yeah, that's how
and
it
they're
goes.
not even given any kits yet.
Yeah, there hasn't been anything back from it yet.
Babies.
I bought
you
them.
guys? Oh,
the
snakes. Yeah.
No.
So I bought them.
They're
not producing yet. So I have.
Okay, so what I one thing right now, right? Like, why don't you fucking tell them that they're still assets? Like, even though they're not breeding or anything, if they're DG this, whatever that, there's still value to that snake. Like, in a sense, right? Like, how do you not defend that snake is still valuable?
He ended up saying that it lost 50% of value, and the guy went ape shit.
Yeah. Which, in a sense, in the current market, they might have, you know, which is Maybe he had nothing to defend there. Maybe his friend really sold him like the babies that he had there for a year that he was like, I couldn't even move these last year.
Remind you, he bought this a year ago. So the market was already down a year ago. Like we're already well into our second year of a down market. Yeah. So how much more down has it gotten a year ago? It's actually pretty like, I mean, it's at where it's at. I feel like, you know what I mean? All right, let's push forward.
Are you sure you have the correct genders necessary for reproduction?
Yes.
How many?
Checked them.
Hey, that's
so I have 10.
Hey, that's a legit question right there.
Yeah.
Another thing, how many fucking morons raise snakes not confirming the sex, and they don't even have the right sex ratio? So that right there is not a far off fucking like.
That was the dude's best question.
For sure.
Yeah. I get nervous with that kind of stuff all the time. Even though I know how to sex ball pythons, like I have a pair of diamond pythons that I've been raising, and even though I know the sex and I sex them when I got them, I'm like, I gotta sex them again just to make sure that they didn't change their mind or something.
Yeah.
Apparently.
How much was all these?
$7,000.
$7,000.
$7,000.
Bro, dude, somebody fucking got this guy, bro. I'm sorry. Yeah. Somebody cha-ching this dude, bro. And it's easy to get cha-chinged in this fucking hobby.
Yeah.
Nine snakes.
All right.
When did you when possibly did you what? This is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my. When did you possibly do this?
Probably about a year ago.
Why'd you continue with this marriage with someone that would do that?
I mean, at the end of the day, I was not living with him. I was still doing my own money. I was like, okay, go do whatever you want to do.
Love him, but can you be with someone that does that on a quarterly basis?
I mean, I think that.
And now they're just sitting there slithering around and not banging.
So my male was smaller at the time. He was probably about that big. Now he's about this big. So he's ready to breed.
Who
Let's fucking go.
A snake like that. It's about this big now. And it's like, you stupid motherfucker. You stupid motherfucker. You could have been like, oh, it's like 600 grams or like this. It's about this big. It's gonna.
I'll say one thing to defend him. Okay. One thing to defend him. This guy might be like the most timid guy or something like that in the world. And as far as what I understand, Caleb in the podcast with Theo Vaughn said that they refer to him as like the fucking, what was it? The guy from the like 90s, early 2000s, Jerry Springer, the Jerry Springer of finance or whatever. That's what they refer to him as. So like, he's just getting berated. And if this guy's like timid, like he might not even know what to say at this point.
I mean,
and he has been breeding with some of my friends' females.
Have you sell any?
What's wrong with yours?
Have you sell any?
Okay, so 7K in, see 7K deep, but then also has collaborations going on with a friend. I think the friend's he's the enemy here. I think he is.
Yeah.
I really.
They're not big enough yet. They have to be.
Why would you get small ones?
So their genes.
We got to find out who the friend is. Sorry, I don't mean to keep.
Yeah. No, you're good. You're good.
If anyone out there, dude, please tell me who the friend is.
Yeah. He's the top of the pyramid.
The dollar amount.
Yes.
So I purchased higher quality snakes that were smaller.
Who's gonna buy them?
It would be other breeders that have.
It is a pyramid scheme.
Pretty much. It's just other.
How about saying people who love ball pythons? You fucking moron! Like, dude, does he not understand that people love snakes? Like people who don't even think of breeding. Like that's how I got in. I got in because I just wanted a pet. Like how, dude, how delusional, bro. Yeah, like honestly, you should be in this game to want to make a pet snake.
He shows no interest in the animals whatsoever, but making money. That's it.
Do you even know the other breeders? You know the breeder that gives it to you.
I'm not mad at this Caleb guy. I mean, even though he's annoying as shit, like I would be. Look at this face right here. Goddamn, bro. What the fuck? Yeah.
I'm surprised that we haven't found out who any of these people are. Like, especially with how wide that post is, how far it's gotten. I'm surprised none of these people have gotten tagged.
And he uses your snake nut.
Yeah, pretty much.
Even he calls it out. Like your homie's using your breeder male to make his fucking half out of it. Which, bro, this guy he's
in the loop. He knows other like higher
in the loop, dude. He pyramid sold you. He recruited you.
He lives in Florida.
Oh my God, he's one of us.
Oh,
the Mecca, baby.
He's in Florida. He's in the V unit. He's in the V unit. I'm just kidding.
I know.
He did move to Florida.
Woo! I'm sweating.
I don't even know what to do with that. Dude. Why don't you just sell them and get out of it?
What?
Hey, he said, oh, he's in the loop. How do you spend 7K when you know nothing? You're not in the loop.
Yeah.
Dude, no, but that's the thing. He's in the whole mindset thinking this motherfucker knows everything. I gotta listen to him. Instead of, and this is also like a spitting image of a lazy motherfucker. Instead of doing your homework and seeing who else is potentially doing ball pythons, who could maybe tell me something I might want to hear. The thing is, he's getting all information from this fucking guy, his homie.
Yeah.
I guarantee his homie's gatekeeping him. His homie's for sure gatekeeping him.
I would only get about half of what.
Why?
So their genes have depreciated in value.
Rock and
It's been a
roll.
depreciating asset. Yes.
Oh my! How do you even know?
I check the market. I see like what genes
What
that might make
market?
sense.
Just like the
There's an app that where naturally trade.
So you lied to me.
So what?
You lied to
gay
me.
trading
You
snake
freaking
nut.
lied to me. You told me that you made your research that everything was going to be okay. Now, right now, you're saying that they decreased.
They have depreciated.
Guy, you're a. I don't even.
Fucker did no research. I don't even know if I can.
The market.
Bro,
The morph market.
He made us sound like fucking Bitcoin or some shit. You know, an app. There's an app.
But hold on, how many different situations is the exact same thing on anything else? Like what's fucked up? It's like, okay, he picked ball pythons, but this can happen to anything. A trading card, a fucking goddamn go collect some rocks. You know what I mean? It doesn't ball python rocks. That's funny, but I'm just saying. I'm just saying, bro. This scenario, like bad financial decisions, doesn't have anything to do with ball pythons. Like that's fucked up.
Yeah, I think that the response is mainly because we're talking about a live animal, because I mean it could have been other things and it wouldn't have hurt anybody except for the couple in this video, but now we're talking about, I mean, the live animals are involved in this whole thing, like we got to understand that this is a living thing,
Right, but that which is why, like, why get in it with money intended?
Yeah.
That's stupid. Like a living thing cannot be living tomorrow. Hello, like we can't. We got things we can't control. Like we got things we don't see happening in an animal sometimes, like tumors or whatever. Like there's like you don't ever bet on this shit, bro. Like you do it because you love it, and if it works out, it works out. But I mean, you already accept the loss as it is. Like I don't. Yeah, bro. I don't know.
It's crazy,
man.
dude.
But also, like, I'll go ahead, Emilio.
This poor kid, he's done everything, the easy way. He even went and got his wife the easy way. Just saying.
Facts, bro. That kind of speaks volumes right there.
Yeah.
Like you got people who try to find shortcuts, and this is another. I mean, I struggle with that. Like I used to be Mr. Shortcut King back in the day, but you do that in this game, watch what happens. Like it just first and foremost, it catches up to you, but then it shows in your work. Like it shows when you're fucking Mr. Not do things the right way and do things half-assed and kind of shitty. You just can't do it with living animals. It ain't gonna work.
100%.
So overall, like, what's your do you think that's gonna have a huge effect on what we do? Like, I mean, not that we need another thing that makes us kind of look like morons what we're doing, but I mean, how much reach do you think a podcast like this got, and then especially going on Theo Vaughn's and whatnot?
I don't think it's gonna do much, to be honest with you. But what I hope it does is that I hope it opens the conversation or continues to open the conversation, because this is something that we do have to ask ourselves when we're selling these animals. Like, what is it exactly that we're selling here? Because somebody like this kid that, clearly got suckered, do we want to, honestly, do we want to do that for somebody else just because we're just like, I need to sell this fucking animal? I think there are some similarities with this whole pyramid scheme. Sure. I think it's closer. One of my friend Chuck, like, cause I play a lot with ChatGPT. So I had even looked up, I was like, all right, ChatGPT, give me the similarities between pyramid schemes and ball pythons. And it gave me a whole bunch of similarities and differences. And then my friend found something that was called a circular loop or a closed loop, where it's just like the same amount of money just keeps going around in a circle and around in a circle and around in a circle, But in the end of the day, like, we, again, have to understand that we're selling animals. We have to understand that there's ethics and morals that involve that. And we shouldn't be selling the dream. That's the bad marketing, because then we're not giving people the understanding of the responsibility of these animals.
I think overall, the ball python market pushes the dream of making amazing, rare animals. Overall, That's what I believe. But then the people see the price tags and then they run with that shit. Okay, because I mean that's how I see it. I could be wrong.
I don't think you're far off. I don't think you're far off. But the thing that sucks is that so many people see a price tag and they're just like, well, I can equate this value to this animal and I can hope that I make it in 2-3 years whenever the animal's ready to go. Or they start taking shortcuts and start breeding animals maybe younger or smaller than they should be just because they want to, you know, get quicker with it.
If it's one thing, if it's one thing I would be looking for new in this game, is obviously seeing all the ones complaining that they're not making money, but then look at the ones that are doing fine. Because I got to tell you, it's not everybody, you know, as far as people who aren't selling. I mean, if you pay close attention, there's people out there who are doing, you know, zero issues. They're doing their thing, but that takes years. I feel like, you know what I mean? Like to get to the point where you're able to hold down a customer base, even though the market's doing its fucking thing, but you still have shit that people want and they're willing to pay you. Dude, what the fuck? Like that doesn't happen overnight. Are you kidding me? It takes years to do. Like but people think 3-4 years this investment project will be making me the exact same money I paid for this snake. You're tripping. No, it don't work like that.
Like, I think we just got to go when it comes to ball pythons, you know, we got to go back to walking around your local Repticon or whatever. And like for me, I'll go to Emilio's table. I'll go to Morph Jungle. I'll go to Steve's Morphs. And I'm not looking at price tags. I'm looking at the animals. I'm like, do I have interest in creating something similar? Can I add on to that? Looking at the morphs, you know, seeing what it is that like that and trying to find that kind of passion and not so worried, you know, for the price. Because if you're doing this for the money, you're going to get fucked in one way or another. You know, you're going to lose, you know, again, animal can get sick. Animal can escape an enclosure. Animal can this, animal can not breed for you in 5-10 years. You know, like you got to understand what it is to be able to care for these animals.
Yeah. And when shit hits the fan, you got to be like, you know, we don't know what this future holds for all of us, you know, and if it came down to like, all right, none of this shit could be sold. Like you got to fucking, are you happy to keep what you're about to keep at that point? And that's the way I look at it. Like if shit were to, you know, not that I think it's going to take a lot. It's like kind of saying you're going to take fucking gun owners' guns away. Like good luck. Like it ain't going to happen. But you know, let's think in a crazy fucking like Total Recall world and shit. And it's fucking, you know, the hammers come down and it's like no reptile sales anywhere. Like, are you going to be able to walk into your room and fucking be like, I'm so happy I have this? Or are you going to be like, oh my God, I have no freezer space, you know? Like, it's a real thing, dude.
Yeah. Well, it makes us happy. This is our lifestyle. This is what we do. There's people that craft. There's people that build collectible cars. There's people that do all types of shit. Okay. Yeah. But what they failed to get into is that, yes, those animals that he bought have depreciated, but he should have plans to have his collection appreciate with what he does with the animals.
Correct.
It's that simple. And that's what most COVID breeders should be thinking, not throwing the fucking towel, you know?
Yeah. Well, when you get into, people will say when, you know, that you should buy babies, raise them, and get them, you know, into adulthood and then breed them. For me, what's worked best for me is if I really want to try to do something, I've gotten like either subadults or adults that were raised as pets, and then I try to breed them from there. I see if I can get the eggs to go full cycle, you know, and get babies from them, and if I can make sure that the babies eat and find good homes for them, if I can do those things, then I will continue to invest in an animal. You know, too many people are investing into ball pythons just thinking that they can because it's easy. And therefore, their return on investment might be, you know, sooner rather than later. You know, Brettles pythons. I breed Brettles pythons outside here in Orlando. And, you know, instead of going and crazy and buying a shit ton of carpet pythons and different kinds of Morelia, because I was able to reproduce them, I was like, okay, I'm just going to buy a pair of diamond pythons because that's like a dream animal of mine. And I have no problem raising them up and keeping them as pets. If they never breed for me, those animals are gorgeous. Those are stunning. They're going to look great in a beautiful outdoor enclosure. And that's that. And we have to understand that there's more value than just the dollar amount when it comes to these animals.
Less is more. Like as far as like that aspect goes, like if you love something so much, if you keep adding to that and adding to that and adding to that, like that love starts to get spread out so thin, and then then it becomes a chore, you know. And this is always a chore. I mean, like when you're doing this for a living, it's fucking work, but we love it. You know what I mean? But you definitely get it to the point where that love becomes something where you start to have like resentment in a sense, like because you're just in way and over your head. And so and the ball python game is like the gateway of that. Like it sucks, but the ball python game could get you to where you could keep 100 ball pythons easily in racks, right? But try to do 100 diamond pythons. I fucking dare you. Like I fucking dare you, dude. Like show me where you're gonna keep them. Show me because you can't get away with shit like that with that species.
Yeah.
But that's also why people should consider keeping stuff like that. So they hone back and they don't see the whole like, I need to fucking fill up this wall full of ball pythons. Like I need to get to 50 clutches in 3 years. Like, bro, I hate to say it, that's a dead dream.
Yeah, no, it's rough, man, because in the end of the day, they see, you know, I set myself up here instead of the podcast studio on purpose because like I'm letting you know, hey, look, like I am a part of this quote unquote problem, you know, because people see that we can just stack these things and they only can take up so much space, therefore you can have more. But that doesn't mean you should have more. For me personally, I am not an anti-rack person, but I want to get to a point where maybe I don't need these things. Maybe I could figure out a way to breed the ball pythons to offer them a little bit more than what this can be, you know, because in the end of the day, like, yeah, we can progress the hobby by getting these animals into more people's hands. But we should also progress the hobby by pushing the standards, you know. When I got into this, my wife, you know, she was my girlfriend at the time. When I showed her this, she didn't say, "Oh, that's cool." She said, "You're gonna keep the snakes in there," and that's how the mainstream world sees these kinds of things. Yeah, you know, and that's
my big sister used to always say, "Dude, that's fucked up, dude." I'm like, dude, no. They like it. She's like, why do you have them on newspaper? You're terrible.
You know, and that's the thing, though. And so it's important for us to educate, but it's also important for us to push these standards, get things better, try to see what we can do to offer more to these animals that are offering us a livelihood.
Yeah. Anytime I get that whole, like, I need to get one of these racks out of here so I get more room for something else I love, I'm delusional because at the end of the day, like, okay, until Emilio could come into my trap and say, MJ, you don't have any cool ball pythons. When he says that, I'll get rid of my ball pythons. Okay? The thing is, Emilio comes and he knows I got sick shit. And I know he's not the only OG in this game who says I have sick shit. So I know ball pythons are just fucking, bro, they're not going anywhere for me. I love them. They're cool. And mind you, like, as much as the outsider looking in at a rack and they're thinking it's fucked up, we know deep inside the ball pythons prefer it that way. Like they are a happier animal kept in a fucking goddamn tub with, you know, good heat and humidity, darkness. Don't, you know, fuck your sunlight. They don't want it. I'm telling you, they don't want it.
Yeah, I don't know. Personally, I don't know if I 100% agree with it. But I think that we figured out a way to replicate them, you know, in this method. So therefore, you know, we have the impression that this is what it is. And again, not an anti-rack person. But again, I just want to see if there's a way that some of these things can get pushed a little bit further. I think Vision Cages just came out with like racks that are able to have like lighting and shit like that.
Yeah. But again, like, hold on. If you pay attention to people who are finding ball pythons where they're at, they're underground. They're not basking on a rock. They're not on a perch saying, "Oh, what a beautiful sunny day." Like it's so hot where they're at. They're looking to get in the coolest spot possible, which is in the dirt. Like Dave Kaufman had to dig like 3 feet to find a ball python underground where it was like 90 degrees in that ground. On the surface, it's like 100 something. You know what I mean? So
yeah, but I mean, again, I've never been in those areas, but the question for me, just as far as like what I would say next is how long are they staying down there? You know, because they're not staying down there the whole time. Therefore, they're leaving said burrow, going and, you know, looking for other homes and stuff like that. So in essence, they're not always living in something like this.
Listen,
you know,
what I could bring to this conversation is simple. I don't like great clubs. And we could all agree to disagree. That's okay.
That's it. Hey, by the way, I said ball pythons, not reptiles. So if someone's trying to say what I'm arguing is about all reptiles, you're literally fucking part of the problem, and you're not even listening to what I'm saying. 100%. I'm saying ball pythons for any hardhead motherfuckers out there.
Yeah, I have all my animals in semi-clear tubs. And going forward, I would have, you know, when I get my hatchling room, they're gonna have a light, a day and night cycle with lights. That's where I'm gonna have my dry mark on stuff.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to that. I want to see what I see if there's some type of change. But they're gonna have hides. They like tight spots. I agree with MJ, bro. Yoshi, they love their racks,
Well,
bro.
I mean, show me deteriorating ball python from being in a rack versus, like, I have a good example. Try keeping a super dwarf retic or a tick in a rack and watch what happens to that retic once he feels like he is not wanting to be in that tub. They push their face to smithereens. How can ball python? Hold on. How come ball pythons don't push?
Yeah,
Why-
I mean, I would say to that, when was the last time you opened one of your ball python racks and your animal didn't try to poke up out of the enclosure and do this?
All the time.
I have my animals that sometimes they'll want to just go up, you know,
Mine-
and that goes to show me that they want a little bit more space.
Yeah.
Again,
Well-
mind you, I understand the value of something like this, and I will not shit on somebody for keeping like this because I've done it, I do it, and I see why. But for me personally, I would like to see if I can do just a little bit more. I don't think that me figuring out a way to do it is going to push the narrative for all ball python breeders. That's not even my hope. That's just for me, you know? Again, I mean, and if it doesn't work and this is what works, then this is what I do because I like producing ball pythons, you know?
Yeah. I mean, for me though, like if like just the same way I let go of my retics and other things that I felt like the lace monitors, right? Like my whole argument why I didn't want to keep lace monitors because I felt like, dude, like you can't keep laces unless you're going to give them something like very spacious. And I feel like outside, if you can, if you get away with it, right? If I were to ever see something wrong with the ball python from keeping it in a rack, that's going to be the day I let him go. I could tell you that right now. And so I don't know. I mean, like I said, I feel not first and foremost, I know a lot of people get a little sociable with their reptiles and they look at it as a companion, and God bless you. Like, this is therapeutic for me too, but you can't tell me a ball python's a sociable animal.
Yeah.
You can't tell me a ball python when you open the rack and says, "Oh, hi owner, good to see you, dude." Like,
correct. Yeah.
Take me out. Like, dude, I'm sorry. Okay. And I get it. These are captive bred animals. So they tolerate it. Don't get me wrong. But
dude, when my ball pythons come out of their rack, they hold on tight to me because they just want to hug me, bro. That's what they want to do. They want to hug me so tight.
Do they want to hug or do they want to fucking clinch that you don't kill them? Like they don't know, bro. Like
yeah, I get you.
What's a ball python do for defense? They ball up. It's not even a defense. That means they're so pussy that all they could do is hide and hope they don't die. That's a ball python. You know what I mean?
Some are more pussy than others, I have to say. And Morphic Exotics said this. They're looking for, when they want to get out, they're looking for a new place to hide. And that's what they do. Whenever one of my animals gets out, I know exactly where they're going to hide, and I always find it. The best hiding spot, bro.
Yeah.
But listen, I will definitely say I'm not against you putting a ball python in something sick as fuck. God bless if you can. I mean, if you like, you know, shout out to Juju, Kayla, my homegirl Kayla in Canada. She was the first like pet keeper I like started like really fucking with because she got these sick ass, big ass freedom breeder racks, but like ones for like retics, but she decked them all out. And I was like, that's fucking sick. You know what I mean? Like, God bless you if you could do something like that. But in a breeder world, in a sense, like, you know what I mean? Like that doesn't make sense to do that. You know what I mean?
I mean, dude, like it might just be like a thing where, you know, instead of keeping them in this size tub, I move them to which is the freedom breeder tub that has the mirror in the front.
Yeah, the big ones. Yeah.
It might be something like that. And offering.
If anyone else feel better, I got my adults in those. And Emilio knows I keep my big ball pythons in that big ass freedom breeder with the window.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and it might be just something as simple as that.
Hey, I do semi-clear and clear. That's what I like. I like to see my animals. I like to know where they're at. I like to see behaviors on feeding day. I like to see everything. I like to see if they're in the front, in the back.
You know what? You want to know what sucks though, guys? Like even for me right now, like let's just say we had 1,000 people in this building right now, and majority of them were reptile people. I would be so wrong for what I'm saying. Even if we talk about putting them in, even you would be Yoshi, and even if we put them in a tub with a window, now it's a prison. Now it's a prison. So it's like I don't think there's no
There's no right way.
There's no right way, dude. No matter what.
I do like the clear tubs that they came out with. Those tubs for me, they're super fucking cool.
Yeah.
You know, to be able to offer the animals like light cycles and stuff like that. That is, I want to replace all of these with those, but that's expensive.
And remember, so we've had European breeders on. We still do, but we had a homie named Mats, who is from a place where it's illegal to put them in racks. Like they have
Correct.
And dude, his room was sick as fuck. Like he had everything in a row. And you know, like, dude, I'm not against shit like that. Like that shit's sick as fuck. And you know, maybe down the road, something to consider, you know, but I just know that if I was doing anything wrong by a ball python by keeping it in a rack, I wouldn't keep it in a rack. I for sure would move on from it, like the same way I did with the retics, same way I did with the lace monitors, same way I keep anything where I feel like I'm fucked up for keeping it this way. I'm not going to keep it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get you. You got rid of the retics?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Gone. And I had them in good vision cages and like stuff like that. And none of them, I got to the point where none of them were pushing and they were happy. But I do like when you go to bar checks, right? And I've already made this example not too long ago, but when you go to the Reptarium and you look at Lucy, okay, and Lucy's in the fucking goddamn top corner of a 10-foot cage, an 18-foot retic, like, dude, what makes you think like they don't want to do that more often, like climb and do things? And so that right there was a big reason why I let go of the retics, because I'm like, dude, I'm not happy keeping them in a 3-foot tall, 8-foot long, or 6-foot long, and like that. I that right there, I was like, a retic, bro, like who is way more bold than a ball. You want to talk about an apex predator? Retics are fucking ruthless, bro. Like they are top tier badass snakes in this hobby. Like they don't fuck around, and they mean business. You know what I mean? You don't keep a retic in a rack. I don't think, and no offense to anyone out there, you don't keep retic in vision cages. I'm sorry. They need space. They need big ass.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I think that it's rough because, you know, they produce so many babies. So
shit ton.
Understanding the responsibility of producing those animals is just, for me, like insanity, dude. Like, can you find homes for those animals, and are they going to live their full life proper because of the amount of space that they have? And then the last thing you'd want is a situation, you know, like what's going on in Puerto Rico. Like people find them all over the place now in Puerto Rico, and that sucks, man. You know, and we got to understand that we're stewards to these animals. You know, we got to offer them as much as we can, you know, in our own realm of being able to do things, you know.
But like a retic does things where it makes you think, like, am I doing right by this snake? You know what I mean? Like, for
correct,
instance, like the pushing, the whole, like, you know, you got so many people out there who deal with the retics pushing. Okay, and there's so many variables of why that could be happening, but a lot of times they're just trying to get the fuck out of that cage. They don't want to be there, and they're not one to just ball up in a corner and just be miserable. Like they want to get out, and so, you know, stuff like that, I feel like it's important sometimes to keep, so you realize like there are snakes that think, you know, not that ball pythons don't think. I'm just saying they have their own mission in life, and that's not to be killed. That's that they want to hide. And like, I swear to God, you cannot change this thought that I have. Ball pythons want to hide away from anything that's going to kill them. That's it. They don't give a fuck.
No, I get you.
They're fucking timid.
They're so scared.
They're a timid snake.
Yeah.
You know,
I get you.
Worms. Retics are aggressive as fuck.
And think about why ball pythons were so goddamn near impossible to establish when we first got them in importation, okay? Because how timid, how fucked up they were getting in. Like, dude, I'm telling you, bro. Like, ball pythons.
No, I get it. I just personally would like to just try things on my own, you know, again, try to like find my own way within these things, not trying to change the world of breeding the ball pythons and stuff. I just like, dude, I had like this weird, so when I moved here to Central Florida, right, I'm from Miami, I moved to Central Florida, and one of my things when I bought this house was like, man, I really want to keep a python outside, you know, so I did a lot of research, and I ended up kind of falling in love with researching a specific animal, how I wanted to care for it. Even looking at like the average months, like every month of like wherever that this animal is, like what is the average temperature, and then what is the fluctuation beyond that average? Can I keep that animal here? And that's where I found Brettles pythons, you know. And so just seeing those animals interact in different ways, obviously, you know, Morelia is way different than ball pythons, you know, but just being able to do something a little bit outside of my comfort zone when all I ever did was keep snakes in racks was kind of refreshing to me. And it kind of gave me a different, like a different perspective when it came to just general keeping. And honestly, I would say that seeing what Heather and Ron did, mixing that with the situation that I had with the bridles pythons, which is why I think that I kept blue tongues outside, just being able to offer more, and even change the way that I keep some turtles, some of the tortoises, stuff like that.
Yoshi, I got a challenge for you, Yoshi. You ready? And
What's up, bro?
You're the perfect guy for this.
I already thought about it.
I'll even send you the snakes. I don't give a fuck. But you should breed ball pythons outside.
I've thought about it 100%.
I'm serious. I want to see this, and I know you can, and I think they would, but I want to know their behavior. I want to know.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know how often are they outside enjoying the beautiful fresh air. Like I want to do this, and this could really be a part of a lot of the things that people go back and forth about. I think
I don't think
you're that guy, bro. You're that guy.
Yoshi,
yeah.
You came up with the fact that it's too cold there, correct?
So that's the thing, right? So my thing now is like some of the animals, even though I would say that for the most part, the temperatures are great for the animals that I keep outdoors. Cold, humid, hot, they're fine. Drier, whatever. But there's still temperatures where I'm like, I think I'm going to bring them inside. The past 3 weeks, I've brought the blue tongues and the bridles pythons in probably a total of like 7 days, because I would, it's not just about like, okay, yeah, it's going to get cold today. And, your high can be 60 degrees, but there's going to be a difference of whether you're going to have sun or clouds. If you're going to be 60 degrees and it's going to be cloudy for 3 days, that's an issue. If you're going to be 60 degrees for 3 days, but you're going to have sun for 3-4 hours, then you're fine. You can keep that animal outside because it's going to have the opportunity to bask, So this is the thing with the ball pythons. Can I bring them in for a certain part of the year? Is that cheating to what the goal is going to be? Do I breed the animals when I bring them in? So these are, I've thought about it. So these are like the things that I'm trying to figure out. Like if I put a pair of ball pythons outside and I bring them in only in the times where it's going to be a little bit rough for them, can it work out? Can it not?
I have an idea. Check this out. So let's say you got a cold front coming in, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you design some sort of a tub style like nesting that's heated, you could just simply put both of them in the tub, cover it where they can't get out or whatever, and just basically keep them in there overnight, right? Where they're not going to freeze to death. But dude, I don't know if you follow Corey Woods, but bro, this time of year, Corey Woods, his whole room drops to the 50s. You know what I mean? Like these snakes, as long as they could thermoregulate and get back up to heat, they can handle some crazy coldness, man. Like some really.
So maybe that's the thing. Or maybe what I do is, I'm just thinking about this now. Maybe the nights that I bring them in for the cold are the nights that I pair them, and I pair them in a tub.
And just leave them for 3 days, like in that tub. Because usually that's what you do as a breeder. You pair them up, you let them, let them do their thing for a few days, right?
Yeah.
And you let them out. But like I said, like, oh man, I wish I could do that. I would try to pull that off, bro, for sure. I really would. Yeah. This is cool. Great fucking episode, man. I definitely want to bring you back on again some point. Just because, Yoshi, like I really fuck with your connection with the animals. Like a lot of people are good at painting a picture that they're all about the animals, but really they're all about growing their podcast that's pretty weak or whatever, you are really about this shit, and it's really cool to have someone like you be on the show, and I'm looking forward to bring you back. But we got hot seat questions for you, if that's okay.
Rock and roll.
Okay, hold on. Go ahead, man.
What's up?
The rodents.
Oh yeah, my bad. Yeah, let's cover that real quick. What's your take on the China mice coming in and supposedly wiping out people's collections? Have you put any research into that yet?
Dude, I have no idea. When I saw you post it today on like what we were going to talk about on Instagram, I was like, what's going on with China and rodents? I have no idea. I've not heard of this. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's going on? Explain this to me. So there's rodents coming in from overseas, and they're coming in with some kind of diseases or something like that into some of these rodent farms and causing issues, or what's going on?
Okay, well, the thing is, there's no, like, this is no secret, right? Like, people, I mean, China's been sending mice to this goddamn hobby for decades.
Frozen.
But what's happening is there are accounts of people losing their snakes from feeding certain mice from certain big companies, and these reports have been stacking up throughout the last couple of years. But then you have companies like, I don't want to say any companies' names, but there's some big companies out there that are already like publicly being exposed for claiming to breeding their own mice, right? Saying they have facilities, but then there's like invoice after invoice after invoice showing that they're getting mice all from China. Okay. But dude, the whole China mice thing has been, I mean, and Emilio, what have you known about mice coming in from China, and you've been in this hobby for how long?
A lot of big companies I believe they've scaled back their production because it's cheaper for them to just get the mice from and mice, rats, and whatnot from China.
Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
What was the numbers? MJ, there was a huge number, correct? A year?
Yeah, it's a lot.
39 million or some shit. 39 million rodents or some shit like that.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's crazy numbers, man, and it's kind of been a secret overall.
Yeah, it has and it hasn't, right? And the thing is, it's like there's people who are just like, it's China, it's China, it's China. It's not China. Like China has, you know, from what we could see and tell only off one video, of course, like they have good facilities that have insane strict biosecurity that they don't fuck around with. And also you got to think of China, like how many, I mean, China, I don't think you do much that is bad without them fucking killing you. Like it's no joke. I don't think they fuck around in China. But you know, I think it's the processing, man. It's going from one breeder to the next, to the next, to the next. And what I mean by breeder, like rodent wholesale breeders who sell to the other rodent wholesale breeders. Like the biggest problem with any rodent business right now are the third-party rodent companies, okay? And you know, a lot of those companies won't last, but you got rodent companies out there who don't even breed any of their mice or rats. What they're doing is they're getting it by the loads and they're reselling it. The reselling is what's fucking people's collections.
Yeah. Damn. So like my thing is, so I used to do imports and exports with my dad. So we dealt a lot with like customs whenever different things would come in and stuff like that. So this is probably something that I would maybe have a little bit more insight after I have a conversation with him, because there's gotta be a government organization that is involved with these rodents that are bringing them in, because you know, it's,
I mean, I'm sure here's the thing, they get radiated really crazy. Like there's things that these rodents go through before they even enter the country. Okay. Like insane shit. But we got to think about all the labs that we have in this country. Okay. Like there's people who, like there's labs that do certain kind of like tests on some of these mice, and they order or produce X amount of rats or mice, and whatever is left over, whatever they have goes right into the hobby. You know what I'm saying? And that's another like fucked up, like thing you should be really considering. Like how many of these people are getting not only third-party rodents, but from labs. Like, you know what I mean? It's the laboratories. Like that's just saying, you know what I mean? You got to be careful.
No, that's very interesting. Everybody should go and talk to their rodent supplier to make sure that they're not getting fucked. Jesus.
Do your homework. Do your fucking homework. And if you could buy local, buy local. I'm telling you right now. Go straight to the store.
Cold chain.
Yeah, get that shit out, man, if you can. I'm telling you right now.
Damn.
And another thing, you don't know how old they are. The rodents, you just don't know, and that's a big fucking deal in itself.
Emilio, do you feed your stuff frozen or live?
99% live.
Okay.
Today was frozen.
Yeah, today was frozen. Yeah.
Got you. Interesting.
Yeah, I don't mind frozen, but it's my own stuff, you know.
Yeah. That's interesting.
We have a really deep dive on this topic Friday with Dave Levison, Mark Bailey, because Mark Bailey produced mice and rats for over 40 years. And he knows all about the whole China situation, and like he knows it's not China. Like it's not China, guys. I'll tell you that right now. It's not China.
What do you think it is? It's just that
it's the process. It's the processing. It's all processing, bro. It's they get here and then they either sit somewhere or they go into a freezer where the freezer is not evenly freezing them. So if you think about putting a huge stack of fucking rodents in a walk-in freezer, dude, those middle fucking rodents or something, they're not getting frozen the same way the other outside. Like they will eventually, but how do you know by the time they get frozen, they're not already deteriorating? Out? Like that's why some people, they'll get a bag of rats and they'll go, what the fuck's wrong with this one? Like, oh my God, you know what I mean? And that and they think it's okay and they feed it off. And it's not. Like, no, you always got to check the bellies. I always smell first and foremost. I mean, I don't need to because I buy straight from a guy who lives not too far from me. But man, there's a lot of things that could just wipe your fucking collection out if you're not careful, bro. And rodents from laboratories and other piece of shit breeders who are in the rodent game. Yeah, beware, guys.
And to me, time. time is
Yeah.
really important.
Yeah.
I've been told throughout the years that nothing should be more than a year, and preferably 6 months. So that's another. We're gonna talk with Mark about this Friday, but that to me is a concern. I know I don't want to be eating meat that's been frozen more than
Of
6
course.
months.
Fuck no. And if we think about it, like there are maybe some cases where the snake could handle it, like maybe like a bad case of food poisoning where they shit fucking weird or something, but they don't die. So maybe some people are just getting lucky, but then you have your unlucky ones, like Junior JMG Reptiles, one of my hosts on this network, talked about, and I won't say the company name, but he fed a rack full of holdbacks mice from this one company. They all died. He took the mice to the vet, and salmonella was in the mice. So, yeah.
Got you. Damn.
That's cold chain, bro, right there.
Yeah.
Don't
Interesting.
say no more cold. It's getting that what you're saying is getting too close to a name that's out there. So just
well, I mean,
you're good. I've already got a letter. I don't want another one.
Oh God, I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, somebody says on the chat, tariffs will end that. I don't know about that. Somebody said some packages have date codes.
They already have tariffs, bro. I don't think China's gonna get extra tariffs.
Yeah, and we pay those tariffs anyway, so I don't think much changes with that kind of stuff. You will storm, but yeah, that's weird. Yeah, no, I didn't know anything about this because again, like I don't really deal with anything frozen. So
yeah.
Interesting.
All right, you guys, if you want more on this topic, if you really want to get like from I guess an expert's point of view, tune in Friday. Okay, this Friday. 4 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. But listen, Yoshi, we got hot seat questions for you before we
Let's
let you
go.
All right? Hot seat questions for Yoshi coming in hot. Yoshi, the quicker the better. That's how these work. All right.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Yoshi, hot seat questions coming in hot. Let's go. Frozen Thought or live?
Live because of China, apparently.
All right. A cut or no cut?
I wait till the first is pipped or the first couple, and then if I feel like I really need to, I'm cutting them, but I do my best to not cut.
Hey, respect, Yoshi. I like you, but it's a yes or no. Okay, it's
fuck.
It's a yes or fucking no.
I've done more cutting than not, so yes.
Okay, all right. Red Chondro Neo or yellow Chondro Neo?
Red.
Pre-first shed meal or post-first shed meal on a ball python?
Post first shed.
Yay imports or boo imports?
My friends are gonna hate me for this. Can I say 50-50?
No.
Okay, fuck it. Boo imports. Fuck.
All right. Okay, but if there was one reptile you would import to your collection anywhere around the world, what would that one reptile be?
It'd probably be one hell of a blue tongue MORPH from Australia.
All right, respect.
Yeah.
To spray or mist a ball python, or to never spray and mist a ball python?
Spray and mist as needed.
Yay sports or boo sports?
Boo sports.
Yay alcohol or boo alcohol?
Sober for like 2 years. Boo alcohol.
All right. Big flexor or no flexor?
What do you mean? I don't get it.
Come on, yeah, you do, bro. Come on, don't fuck.
No, like
you big flexor or no flexor, dog?
No flexor, dude. I'm 5'2". It's not happening, bro.
Yeah, but are you flexing with your reptile production?
Yeah, but your collection. Come on.
I get fucking.
Hey, you're flexing on your podcast. You guys are funny.
Yeah, you guys have a great dynamic on your podcast, and I'm trying to let people know you got something to flex about. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay. So yes, flex the Reptiles with podcast. Let's go. Yeah.
All right. Steak.
My bad.
Steak or fish?
Oh, fucking steak, dude.
Favorite cut of steak?
I don't know what the English word is it, but I like a carne asada.
Oh, there you go. That's a Mexican term. Yeah, carne asada. Okay.
Yeah, I'm Nicaraguan and Cuban.
Favorite genre of music?
Hard rock.
Hard rock. Okay. Favorite hard rock band of all time?
Favorite hard rock band of all time? Audio Slave.
Oh, respect. Wow,
Yeah.
Audio Slave.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right. West Coast rap or East Coast rap?
No rap.
If you had to pick one, like just for
fucking shit, West.
All right, cool. All right. Little word association. Say the first thing to come to mind. You ready?
Yeah.
Milk.
Lactose intolerance.
What an honest answer. Stuck shed.
Water.
FedEx shipping.
Okay.
Instagram trolls.
Fight.
Morph market.
Good.
All right, last but not least, coolest reptile network in the world.
Because I need to flex the Reptiles with podcast. Too bad. No, I'm kidding. You're the only one, so it's got to be you.
I'll respect, bro. Listen, it's all good.
I'm kidding. Is there? Wait, real quick. Are there other reptile networks?
Oh, yes, there are. Yeah, for sure.
Oh, well, I guess.
All Python networks, I guess you could say.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, so I didn't even know that they existed.
I take that back. I want to give fucking credit to the Kings. Morelia Python Radio. I want to say shout out to Eric and Owen. Those two guys right there. They were. I would say maybe my biggest influence of becoming a network was NPR for sure. So you guys got
gotcha.
Those guys are the shit. All right, Mila, go.
All right, listen, this is easy. One has to go. You
okay.
have to pick the one that you can get rid of, okay? Blackhead or GHI?
GHI.
Oh shit. Okay. Puzzle or paint?
Oh fuck. I really like paint, but paint.
Damn.
All right, fire or OD?
Fire.
Exantic or ultra?
Ultra.
All right. DG or hypo?
Hypo.
Damn.
Wait, hypo has to go?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I like Desert Ghost more.
Who's your mentor, bro?
Damn, doggy. Right.
Yeah, sorry, buddy.
All right, this is skink stuff. I don't know a lot about skinks, but
that's fine.
These animals, albinos, blue tongue skink, or pearl.
I'll say I like albino blue tongue skinks, especially the stuff that Heather did this year is fucking crazy.
Epic.
Yeah.
All right, emeralds or chondros?
Nice.
Chondros. I don't like emeralds heads.
Yeah, are you picking what's gotta go?
Oh, sorry. My bad. So back and forth. Pearl blue tongues need to go.
He confuses everybody, so you're fine. Okay.
Yeah. No, you're good. Pearl blue tongues gotta go. Albino stay. Emeralds gotta go. Chondro stay. Let's go.
Okay.
All right. Let's go.
Falsies or dry marcon?
Falsies could kiss my ass. They're dirty motherfuckers.
Yeah, falsies can go.
All right.
Diamond are the shit right there.
Amir or Ben Siegel?
Wow. Damn.
Amir's still my friend to this day. Ben Siegel.
Peace. Good answer.
Devin McCurney or Ralph Davis?
Ralph Davis. I don't even know what Ralph Davis is doing.
He's fishing.
Okay, I
got you.
That. That's fine.
Yeah.
All right, building
all right,
cabin.
man. That's all I got. This was fun, bro.
Hey, listen.
Hell yeah.
We had over 80 people tapped in at one point for the episode. What do you have to say to all the love and support out there, Yoshi? And also, Yoshi, you had hella people rocking with you in the comments. Okay, so what do you have to say to all your love and support that you have out there?
Thank you guys so much for checking this out. I feel like this was overdue. I feel like the presence of both of our podcasts have been really out there a lot, especially the past couple years. And, collaboration is key. And we all got to keep on progressing with our collections, with our standards. And that's the only way that we're going to be able to have a brighter future and have the, mainstream understand what it is that we do.
Respect.
Yeah.
Is Instagram the best place to follow you, Yoshi? Or where can people check out all your stuff?
So Modern Reptile Shop on Instagram, Modern Reptile on YouTube. You can Google the Reptiles with podcast and it'll show you everywhere where we, do our thing. We talk about pretty much all kinds of reptile topics, especially the controversial ones, and we do it with a comedic twist.
Fuck yeah. All right, well, check it out. You can get all the links to Yoshi's social media plugs in the description below. But give it up. It's a wrap for the homie Yoshi, Modern Reptile, ladies and gentlemen.
Let's fucking go.
Thank you, Yoshi. Appreciate you, man. Keep
killing
killing
it.
it.
Thank you guys.
We'll
for sure.
talk. Peace. Good guy, man. Really good guy. Yeah. Never got to really know him, and I'm glad I finally did. And yeah, it's exactly how I thought he'd be. Cool shit. Good episode. What'd you think?
Great, it was fun. I know him really well. A lot of info, a lot of knowledge. I love that shit. I love to be able to talk to someone that's so passionate about what they're doing and isn't in it for the money only, or for the most part. That's what this episode was about. I mean, this kid got in for the money only, doesn't know shit about the animals, and got had. Anyone out there getting into
he's talking about the kid on the Caleb show, not Yoshi.
yeah. You know, you don't get into animals for money.
Or to give money to your fucking mail and order wife or whatever the fuck that like. What a lazy bum. But anyways, listen, at the end, another reason why I love the Reptile game, if you're not in this for the right reason, it eventually exposes itself. Like you can't hide unless you got a shit ton of money and you just don't post things and it's neglect in the background. Okay, you can get away with that. But for the most part, nah, sorry. And you have to stay active to be relevant in this game. If you're not active, you're not showing what you're doing, you're not relevant. I'm sorry. It is what it is. Good show, bro. Looking forward to next week, of course. Guys, Villarino Reptiles on IG, the B Unit subscription. Check it out. Appreciate you. Friday, you can catch Big E, Top G, and myself, Krista. We're going to be tagging along Dave Levison and Mark Bailey to talk more about this rodent from China ordeal. But yeah, give it up. It's a wrap for Top E. Big E, Top G, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey. All right, good evening, guys.
Have a good night, man. Thank you so much. And thanks to anyone out there who enjoyed tonight's episode. I know I went a little bit earlier than usual, but we had a great crowd. So appreciate everyone who came through for the homie Yoshi. If this was your first time hanging out, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, select all. You'll be reminded of all podcasts being released out of the Trap Talk Reptile Network 7 days a week, Sunday through Sunday. New episodes. You feel me? It just doesn't stop. All right, guys. So listen, appreciate all the love and support. And of course, before we let you guys go, sorry for the interruption, folks, but a quick word from our sponsors. You know, longevity is one of the biggest things I strive for when it comes to thinking about being a part of the reptile industry. That's why I'm very proud about today's sponsor, Mark Bailey over at Mark Bailey Reptiles. 40 plus years, full-time reptile keeper, enthusiast. This guy, you can catch all his amazing ball python projects on MORPH Market. So make sure you head over to MORPH Market, and that's Mark Bailey Reptiles on MORPH Market. See what he has available currently. And I got to tell you one thing, he's one of the biggest and most respected ball python breeders we have today in the ball python game. So shout out to Mark Bailey over at Mark Bailey Reptiles. Thank you for all the support. And again, make sure you head over to his account on MORPH Market, see what he has available. Thank you so much, Mark Bailey over at Mark Bailey Reptiles. If you're in the ball python game, then you know one of the biggest buzzes going around the hobby as far as reptile shows go is the new Southeast Reptile Expo being thrown by Bob Vu and his crew. Thank you so much, Bob, for being a part of this year's sponsor on the Trap Talk Reptile Network. Very excited to collaborate with you. I'm excited to actually be heading over to Southeast Reptile Expo in February, and that's February 15th and 16th. You can catch me there. Now head over to Southeast Reptile Expo on Instagram and check out Atlanta's #1 reptile show, the newest up-and-coming, most exciting show around in the reptile hobby, and who else better to throw it than Bob Vu. Sorry for the interruption, folks, but a quick word from our sponsors.
Hi, I'm Devin.
I'm Teresa, and we are MORPH. We are based in Czech Republic, a small country in the middle of Europe.
We really love animals that revolve around multi-recessive projects, and one of our very favorites is Hypo. We're really looking forward to clutches that are coming this season, and some of those are Hypo Clown, DG Clown, Hypo DG Clown, and one of our all-time favorites, Hypo Puzzle.
Hope you enjoyed the next episode on Trap Talk, the greatest reptile network in the world.
If you guys want to see next level cutting edge ball python projects, please make sure you head over to their Instagram to follow all their amazing work, and head over to their website to see what they could possibly have available by heading over to progmorphs.com. Thank you again, Devin and Teresa, for bringing some of the biggest heat worldwide in the ball python game. Cheers.